Hey everyone, Sherry Dunleavy, your Inspirationista. And if you are someone whose nest is soon to be empty or whose nest has emptied out recently, then you'll want to take a listen to this and maybe even share it with some people, because I'm going to go through a couple of tips that I've been using since my nest emptied out last week. As you may or may not know, we are parents to two sons. Our one son, Brandon, has been in heaven for 19 years, and our oldest son, Trey, recently went out and purchased a new townhouse. And at 22, that's quite an accomplishment, and of course, we're really happy and very proud of him. And I have to admit, I am more excited for him than I am sad for me. But this affected me in a way that I wasn't expecting. And I think because most of our lives as parents, for my husband and myself, it was one and done. Once one season was over, once, it was over, then we moved on to the next thing. There was no other child to come up through the ranks. And so I know that I had a really, really tough time when he left for college. But as soon as I got down to school, and there was someone greeting him to help him move into the dorm, and I saw how excited he was, then I became excited for him, and I completely forgot about my sorrow. And really, my sorrow wasn't about being left behind or even my child moving on to the next step, because I really truly believe that we are here as parents to guide them and to give them roots and wings. And I really do believe that. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to miss them, right? So anyway, I remember crying really hard because I felt like I wasn't done with him yet. And he was going to move on to college. And I wasn't going to be, he was going to run into situations that I hadn't prepared him for. And so that's why I was sad that he was leaving for college, because I felt like I wasn't done yet. This is a different kind of thing, because when he went away to college, I knew he was going to be home for the summers, and I knew he was going to be home on the weekends, and I knew that he was going to be spending the holidays with us, and I knew that he was always going to be coming home. But now he bought a townhouse in our town, and so there's really no reason for him to come home. I mean, to stay overnight. I know I have friends that their children have moved on even into other cities, but when they come home, they stay with them for the most part. He doesn't have any reason to do that. He has his own place. And so he's moved all of his big stuff in. He's been moved into his place, but some of his things have still remained here at home. And last night he came for the first time to start moving them out. And I got this sick feeling inside of my stomach that, wow, this is really the end of this era. And I got to thinking about this because I have been in some empty nester groups on social media, and what I've discovered is there are so many parents out there that simply can't go on once their children have left the nest. And I'm not one of those people. I can sympathize with some of those people, but I have some tips. That's what I'm getting to. I have some tips that might be able to help you get through when your kids are getting ready to leave the nest if you are devastated by this. Now, I'm not devastated. I am a little sad just because, it's an end of a great era in our lives, but it's the beginning of a great new chapter as well. So the first one is make plans for the room. Once he moves out, I am going to have my own she shed or some kind of space. I am the mom of two boys, and I have a husband, and even my dog is male. I have never had my own space. My husband has his man cave. My son always had his room. My husband and I share a room, and don't say the kitchen's my room. That does not count. So I'm going to create a beautiful space. I don't know if it's going to be one to meditate in, exercise in, maybe all of the above. I don't know. But I'm going to be making plans for that space. So that is something that's positive in this next chapter. Another tip is to get a pet. If you really are missing that nurturing and that loving and that, I don't know, hugging and affection. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Get a pet. Seriously, get a pet. You are gonna love it. And the next thing is get back into something that you've always wanted to do or that you put on the back burner because you were putting your children and your family first. You know what? You can go back to school. You can start a new career. You can start visiting friends. You can start traveling. You get to do what you want to do now with no regard for what your children are doing. You don't have to do travel sports. You don't have, unless you want to do this stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? You have a new chapter to write, and it's an exciting chapter, and it can be a lot of fun. And I love my son, and I'm very proud of my son, but I am also knowing that I still have a lot of life to live. And I can't just sit here and wait for him to come back home and visit me, or wait for him to call me, or wait for him to invite me to do something, or wait on grandkids. Those things may never come. And I have to make myself happy, and my husband and I have to write our own next chapter. So I'm hoping that some of these tips helped you. Something to think about, something to get excited about, and something positive that can come from the empty nest syndrome. You know what? I'm still sad. It still makes my stomach hurt that this era has ended for us. But you know what? We're on to a new chapter for all of us, and we should be getting excited about it. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And if you know someone who might need this message, please feel free to share this with them. And you can go to my website too and share any of my videos there. Sherry Dunlevy, your Inspirationista, with some tips for you today. Thanks for watching.